welcome to Keep Energizing Yourself. So this is our Facebook Live event, and I want to welcome all the new listeners. Thanks for being brave and looking at new things. And I want to thank all of our listeners who have listened to our past Facebook Live. Thank you for joining us. Today we're going to be sharing Jin Shin Jyutsu self-care, and it is an ancient art that is used to bring balance to the body and to the energetic system of the body, like the ki, chi, prana, whatever term you use for it. So Jin Shin Jyutsu balances. It is a non-invasive, really light touch over clothing, and it balances our three elements of our system. It'll balance our physical, the body. It'll balance our mental, the mind, and it'll balance our emotional or the spirit nature. So it helps bring all those three elements into balance. And those three elements, you can think of it like a stool. So when you're sitting on a stool, it can get wobbly, right? Have you ever had that experience that you sat on a stool and it wobbled? So what are some of your solutions to that? How many of us have folded a piece of cardboard, a menu, and shoved it underneath the stool in order to bring it stability and balance? Well, Jin Shin Jyutsu balances those three elements, those three pieces of us, body, mind, and spirit. As you can compare that to that three legs of a stool. So Jin Shin Jyutsu is going to be the supportive, it's going to be the balancer of those three elements. So we don't feel that wobbleness in our life like we do when we sit on an uneven chair, or that uneasiness and you're walking around feeling that there's something that just isn't quite right, and you don't quite feel balanced, and you don't feel in sync with yourself. So Jin Shin Jyutsu is a great tool to bring balance to our system, just like we would balance that wobbly stool in order to sit comfortably on it. We just have to, a little quick reminder is that Jin Shin Jyutsu is not intended to replace any kind of medical interventions. So it works with it. It works in conjunction. So we just want to remind you, if you have some medical conditions, please continue to see your healthcare practitioner. And Jin Shin Jyutsu can work in conjunction, in partnership, in harmony with whatever regimen you're currently using. So again, today we have an interactive program. So if you have questions in between, please type them out and we'll answer them as we go. Have any of you recently heard on the radio, it's beginning to look a lot like Christmas, or it's a wonderful time of the year, that song? Well, for a lot of us, it is a wonderful time, but for several of us, about 62%, according to a survey by Healthline out of Southern California, that they feel more stress and more anxiety during this time of season. So this particular Facebook Live is focused on easing that, bringing that into balance. So we will be giving you some self-care tips on how to bring that into balance. But that survey also said that 10% didn't have any stress during the holidays. So I don't know about you, but I'd like to be in that 10% category. So we're hoping today some of the self-help routines that we're going to give you is going to put you a little closer into that 10% category. So are you ready? Let's hit the easy button and start our Jin Shin Jyutsu self-care to help ease holiday stress. Jin Shin Jyutsu talks about now know myself. Mary Burmeister, who brought Jin Shin Jyutsu from America, and to hear some of that story, we do have a video on Facebook that talks about it's the how it all began story, and you'd be welcome to listen to it. It tells the story of how Jinshin Jitsu got rediscovered by Jiro Murai and how Mary brought it to the United States. So she wrote in our self-help book one, she wrote 3 self-help books that I teach out of. And I'll be teaching in February, March, and April, each book individually. And we have that listed on an Eventbrite tab. And in case you are interested in signing up, we'd love to have you there. So she wrote these 3 self-help books. And it's interesting, as I was looking to say, okay, I want to introduce Jinshin Jitsu to those who are not familiar with it, Mary has said in Self-Help Book 1, page 1, she talked about what Jinshin Jitsu is. Jin means man of knowing or compassion. Shin is creator. And Jitsu, his meaning is art. So Mary wraps it up by saying, it's our creator's art personally for myself. It's the art of getting to know and help myself. And when we know ourselves, we can help others. When we help ourselves, we can be more comfortable in our skin, in our system, and be more generous and giving like we'd like to have in the holidays, and be more willing to help others. Okay, so here we go. Our first self-help is a pretty easy one. You know, I like to give you easy ones. We are going to place our right hand on our left inside bend of the knee, and our left hand on our right leg inside bend of the knee. Now remember, when we're holding these areas, we're not rubbing, we're not touching, we're not pressing. Remember, we talked about the easy button? Well, this art is truly the easy button. So we just place our hands gently on the inside bend of our knees. And as we're holding this brings oneness and unity. I personally love using this self-help routine. When I'm scattered, I have 90 million things to do, and I can't bring my focus to at least start one to get onward with my day. So I find it really, really helpful. If I take the 5 minutes, take the 3 minutes, take the 36 breaths, whatever your rhythm is to simply place your hands right on the inside bend of your knees and just wait till you come back into rhythm. Take everything that's so scattered, bring it to center. No oneness, no unity. And then as you get centered, as you really get your focus, then I begin to take the step out into my day and get my tasks done. So let's inhale and exhale 9 times as we hold this safety energy lock. 1, to bring unity, oneness, peace, and for some, if you're really stuck, it creates movement. So if you want to move through something in your life, this is a great self-help. As we inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Sorry, I'm running out of the picture. I found a little tool that I had in my little bags here that we can listen to, a nice rain stick. As we exhale and inhale. Exhale and inhale. And exhale. Now, if you've noticed that the rhythm of your breath has changed, and inhale. And I am sorry, I lost track. So I think we're about 8 as we exhale. And inhale. So what changes have you noticed? What changes have you felt? Did you feel a deepening of your breath? Did you feel a calmness? I usually feel quite calm after I hold this for a while. A calmness envelop your body. Do you feel that you're a little more focused, a little more centered? Wonderful. I forgot to mention a little earlier, stay tuned. We're going to have a special guest today. So we're going to not give you one self-care on this video, but on the animated video that you get after, it'll be included in there. We had to make a little room for our special guest. I think you're going to enjoy it. The next self-help. We're going to rejuvenate and refresh. We are going to help our abdominal area, our legs, our hips. Oops, I jumped ahead. Sorry, we're going to balance emotions. I'm sorry. Boy, I'm a little off today. I should have held my ones a little more. This is about being overwhelmed. You know, you get upset, you get a little frigid during the holidays, a little frantic. Anything to do with fatigue. It will enhance our breath. It's going to help our equilibrium. It's going to help us to help our shoulders, our upper back. And here it is. We are going to take our right hand and we're going to place it on our left upper arm and our right hand on our left upper thigh. So our left hand is on our right upper arm and our right hand is on our left upper thigh. And again, you may see my hand curl a little bit, but that's not with pressure. So I am not grabbing my arm and torquing it over. All I am is just wrapping my fingertips around my arm. And let us again exhale and feel the air go through our nostrils as we exhale right down to the tip of our toes. Let go of anything that doesn't serve us. And then begin our inhale. We feel that air, we feel the breath expand in our chest, run through our nostrils, fill us with all that we need. And then again, we will exhale. Let go of what doesn't serve us. We have hanging around emotions, past thoughts of past Christmases that we get a little shook about. Let's just let that go. We don't need that anymore. And why do we need that burden on us? Because each Christmas is anew, just like each breath is anew, and each day is anew. So exhale, let go of what doesn't serve us. What don't I need at this moment? And inhale and receive all the blessing and abundance as that air expands into our lungs and that oxygen circulates throughout our veins and gives us nourishment and health and vitality. And again, we will exhale. Can you feel the change? What change are you feeling in your system? I felt my shoulders drop. And Mary Burmeister would always say, drop your shoulders. And that doesn't mean to push them down. That means that you just got to unburden them. You don't have to hold everything in there. We're going to drop our shoulders to expand our breath, to allow us to breathe and be as we let go of all that doesn't serve us. And we inhale and receive all the abundance, especially with this wonderful holiday. Let go of that emotion. Expand and have emotion of enthusiasm, goodwill, all of the wonderful, joyous feelings of the holiday. Expand the heart, be benevolent. All right. So that is over 9 exhales and inhales, I believe, as I chatted a bit. And now we are going to refresh and regenerate. This is one of my favorite self-helps. I use it as a power nap. So if I get a little tired at lunchtime, I will do this for 15 minutes and I get recharged, rejuvenated. It helps mental digestion. It'll help physical digestion. It helps energize the body and mind balance. And here it is. And it helps calm a chaotic mind. So if you have a lot of stuff going with the stress of the holidays or 1,000 things going on, this is a great self-care. So here it is. I'm going to turn my chair to the side. Your sit bones are right here on that ischium, right here. So we're going to place one hand there. If it's convenient, place two, one on each side. So we are going to place our hands on those sit bones. Now my hand in this chair is able to go all the way into the center of those sit bones. But if you're not able or it's uncomfortable for you to have your hand that far in, just pull it off to the side. Jin Shin Jyutsu there, it has an area, so it's not a point, it's an area that will create movement and harmony. So you can pull your hands off to the side a little with that. This is easy to do one-handed or both. Like I said, I use it a lot for a power nap. If I'm very tired, I will sit on my hands and rejuvenate. Sometimes if I have a lot on my mind, I will sit on my hands in order to help me sort some things out and calm that mind that's racing 1,000 miles a minute. Trying to think of all the things I had to do and all the things I need to do or want to do. So as you feel this, how many people are able to feel a pulsation under your fingers? That's good if you can. Remember, you don't flunk Jin Shin Jyutsu. So if you can't feel that, if your awareness has not reached that point that you can feel pulsations under your fingers, it's really okay. Jin Shin Jyutsu will still bring harmony, whether you can feel that pulsation or not. What it can be is an indication of balance, whether it's pounding, whether the pulsation is very quiet, it may need a little more uplift, a little more vitality. Or if that pulsation is very, very strong and forceful, it may need to come down into balance and not work so hard, right? So Jin Shin Jyutsu is about taking each side and bringing it to balance. A soft pulsation as we're touching, or a loud one. We're always looking for balance with Jin Shin Jyutsu. So how is that feeling? Can you see how this can be a power nap? I use it a lot for fatigue, Feel the difference? Can you feel that maybe your breath expanded a little? Did your mind calm a little bit? Are you kind of like me right now, ready to lay down and take a nap? But I'm very calm and content. Now, I promised you a special guest. I could not do a holiday stress reduction without thinking about our little four-legged friends. So when you have a hustle and bustle of all the holiday season, we have other members in our family that are going through some of that hustle and bustle ourselves. So today we brought in Jasmine. Jasmine is one of my Bostons. That's the breed I have. And what Jasmine does, if you heard her snoring back there, she is also a demo dog. When I teach animal classes, I do home care classes for animals also. And when I teach those classes, sometimes people cannot bring their animal with them, whether they have a cat, and we mostly do a lot of dogs in our classes, or if they had an animal that just isn't comfortable coming into that situation. So Jasmine gets to be our demo dog. And so she loves it. She loves the attention. She is a little princess, and she loves to receive Jin Shin Jitsu. She was born with Jin Shin Jitsu. Her mother had Jin Shin Jitsu when she was pregnant. And as soon as my little Bostons are born and we get them home from the veterinarian office, they immediately have the main central. They immediately have Jin Shin Jitsu all their lives. So they very much enjoy this art, and they very much will ask you if they need Jin Shin Jitsu. If they have something going on, they will come and pester you to get Jin Shin Jitsu. So here's what we're going to do for our little four-legged friends. We are going to do what we call in our office, it's an emotional balancer. We call it a heart hug, because your hand is, when I show you these hand placements, your hand is actually sandwiching the heart area. So I'm going to take my right hand and I'm going to put it in between her legs, right in that chest area. I should have a fatter lap, right? So sometimes I put it here. If you'd like to, I'll see if I can get her to roll. You can take your hand and put it under that leg. And my fingertips are on the center of the chest. Okay. And then my left hand comes across in the withers, right here by the shoulder blades. And again, I'm not pressing, I'm not rubbing, I'm just holding. So we're just connecting these two friends to be an emotional balancer. It brings confidence to the dog, helps their breathing, helps our breath, helps them feel comfortable in who they are. And Jasmine also likes it if we do it this way. She is such a girly. So again, I can give a heart hug like this. And she's quite a happy girl. What our animal friends will sometimes do is they may yawn, which is good. It's a release of tension in the tissue. They may lick their lips. They may do a lot of snoring like this little one does. Their eyes might get a little sleepy. But she's very, very comfortable. There. So I should have told you to bring a little animal friend with you, but I didn't want to spoil the surprise. But do you see how easy it is? And they're very adaptable. And once you start with Jin Shin Jitsu, they will come to get a little help just to balance and center them. There's a cute little story that Jasmine was in an animal care class, and she was somebody's practice dog. And they had switched their hands and put their left hand here and their right hand over the top, and she was sitting up like this, and their hands were crossed. She's such a thoughtful little dog. She kept hitting their hand and knocking their arm down, that she didn't want that hand there. And finally, it dawned on the person giving her the flow that they had messed up her hands. They changed their hand position. She lay down, went to sleep, and was just happy. But that's from a dog who's had Jin Shin Jitsu all her life. So she knew which way energy goes. And that's why our animals will enjoy it a lot. They innately are comfortable with energy work. They're very perceptive to the energy in the room if you notice your animals. Okay. I don't know if we have any questions. And there was a little yawn and a little Jasmine grumble. Oh, yes. I know. I know. They have to know you were there, weren't they? You are a good girl. You are. All right. So thank you all for sharing your time with me. I hope you enjoyed our special little guest. And if you need to find a practitioner, please contact me. You can contact me through Facebook or check out our Key Elements website. I'd love to connect you with a practitioner. Sometimes you need a little more help than self-help. And a practitioner are surely there to guide you, give you a treatment session, and maybe tweak your self-care that is going to be helping you at that point in time. So if there's ever a need for that practitioner, please contact me and I will try to connect you if there's one in your area. So, and remember to vote in January. We have our topics up. And anything else that I can help you with, please feel free to contact me. And again, we will see you the third Wednesday in January for our next Keep Energizing Yourself. Thank you so much for coming. Yeah, come on. There, and Jasmine says goodbye too, right? You're a good girl.